Are you using any of Datadog Cloud Integrations? Did you know that you could configure it to reduce the impact on your cloud bill? Setting up Datadog's cloud integration is easy, but getting it right? That's where the real challenge starts. In this video, I'll show you how to set up Datadog's cloud integration properly and how to optimize your configuration to optimize visibility while controlling costs. Whether you're a DevOps engineer, an SRE, or a product owner, these tips will save you money and headaches. First, let's understand how Datadog interacts with your cloud provider. Datadog integrates seamlessly with AWS, GCP, and Azure, but there are some key principles to consider. Let's start by reviewing some global rules for all cloud providers and dive deeper in some specific then. Datadog's crawlers fetch fresh data every 5-10 minutes, giving you near real-time insights. They gather important information like metrics and tags from the cloud's monitoring APIs. Because of API latency and crawl frequency, Datadog data may appear delayed. But don't worry, I'll show you how to minimize this. One option is to increase the fetch frequency. If you need data more frequently, you can ask Datadog support to do this for you. Just keep in mind that more frequent API calls might mean higher costs from your cloud provider. Another way to get real-time data is through native data collection with agent integrations. For certain data like host-level metrics, you can use the Datadog agent. This gives you more detailed and immediate information compared to the crawlers. So you may wonder, why set up a cloud provider integration? The Datadog agent gives you a detailed view of your infrastructure. But not all cloud services work with just the Datadog agent. Some require deeper integration. These services need integration with Datadog to get data through cloud provider APIs. This way you can gather all your monitoring data, like logs, APM, and metrics in one dashboard. Cloud integrations also let Datadog enrich your telemetry with tags, giving you more insight into your data and enabling more granular analysis. On a side note, Datadog deduplicates infrastructure data to ensure you're only billed once per monitored asset, no double charges. Let's now review how those cloud integrations work and what to consider in this initial configuration. In principle, when setting up a cloud integration, Datadog will require a specific role to fetch relevant data through API. This setup is mostly automated and does not need much to be detailed. The first thing to know is how Datadog's billing model works. Datadog charges based on specific monitored assets such as hosts, lambdas, or containers. In a single setup of your cloud provider, however, it may happen that not all assets are necessary to monitor. To control costs, you can use Datadog's allow and deny lists to monitor only the assets that matter. The instructions are quite clear and examples as well, but it is worth mentioning to ensure no surprise. On the other side, cloud providers might have fees for API requests. Since those integrations rely on querying those APIs at scale, it is recommended to only monitor the relevant services. To reduce costs from cloud providers, you can narrow the focus of crawlers, leaving out unnecessary services or regions from monitoring. In here, you can see the configuration for AWS, but the same principles apply for others, such as GCP here. Now that we've seen the general principles for those cloud providers, let's dive in the specificities of some of them. Let's start with AWS. If you are on AWS and using Datadog US1 data center, meaning your Datadog URL is app.datadogq.com, then you may benefit from AWS Private Link. This keeps data off the public internet and reduces AWS egress costs, saving you money. It is particularly relevant when you scale where savings can be significant, but would be worth implementing in all cases. As we mentioned previously, the default method to collect metrics from the cloud provider is using the Datadog crawlers. However, if some metrics are critical for your system and require to be available in Datadog with less latency, it is possible to use Amazon CloudWatch metric streams and Amazon Data Firehose. With this setup, your metrics arrive in Datadog with just 2-3 minutes of latency, much faster than default crawling. Finally, for a specific set of telemetry, the Datadog Cloud Integration will also deploy a Datadog forwarder, which is a lambda that can forward CloudWatch and S3 logs, but also forward logs from SNS and Kinesis events to Datadog. Note that for serverless functions, a Lambda layer is also available to collect telemetry such as metrics, traces, and logs. We've just seen a lot of specific configurations available in AWS. Let's check what Azure has to offer. To integrate with Azure, you'll have to set up an app registration with permissions to monitor your resources. Datadog will then leverage the Event Hub to collect metrics and logs from Azure. Now, to simplify the management of Datadog across multiple subscriptions, assign read permissions at the management group level during app registration in Azure. This will automatically include new subscriptions in the group. On the data center I03, Datadog offers a more native integration with Azure. This method is recommended if you are an Azure user. Finally, as a bonus, in Azure, the integration includes a VM extension. This provides another way to deploy the agent in VMs and can be controlled from Azure itself. On an AKS cluster, the Datadog AKS cluster extension is another solution available to deploy the Datadog agent within the cluster without the need and complexity of third-party management tools. We've just seen a lot of specific configurations available in AWS and Azure. Let's now look into GCP. With GCP, like for AWS and Azure, you have the ability to monitor multiple accounts, projects, or subscriptions. In this case, you can use the service account impersonation and automatic project discovery to integrate Datadog with Google Cloud. With this method, all projects that a service account can see by assigning IAM roles to the projects can be tracked. Roles can be assigned to each project separately, or set up Datadog to oversee groups of projects by assigning roles at the organization or folder level. This setup lets Datadog automatically find and monitor all projects in the chosen area, including any new ones added later. For log collection, the recommended method is to use Dataflow. This enables the utilization of pipelines to transform and enrich the data before being sent to Datadog. It also enables batching and compression to reduce your egress costs. As reference, the other method includes using uniquely a pub subservice, but it is no longer the recommended method. Last tip, especially if you are handling a lot of cloud providers and configuration, Datadog also offers a Terraform resource to automate the overall setup. That was a deep dive into cloud provider integrations. Now you're ready to set up your integrations with best practices in mind. If you need more help setting up integrations or configuring advanced features, check out our other tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips and updates. Thanks for watching and happy monitoring.